Welcome back to Dinar Info News, your trusted source for up-to-date, reliable information surrounding global currency reevaluations, dinar updates, and everything related to the foreign currency reset. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any crucial developments in this fast-evolving financial landscape. Today, we have breaking news that is causing quite a stir in the community, and it's not just rumor or speculation this time. Verified sources and confirmations are coming in, and we are excited to break down this potentially monumental development. U.S. Bank has officially launched the IQD and VND redemption process. Contract rates are locked in, and appointments are now open. Yes, you heard that right. After years of speculation, patient waiting, and sometimes frustrating silence, one of the largest banks in the United States has now begun scheduling appointments for the redemption of the Iraqi Dinar IQD and Vietnamese Dong VND. According to information received from internal banking sources, as well as confirmations from individuals directly involved in the currency exchange process, U.S. Bank has officially gone live with their foreign currency redemption appointments for qualified holders of IQD and VND, specifically under the contract rate arrangement. This isn't your average street rate or international forex rate. It's the special rate that's been long anticipated by those in the Dinar and Dong community. This development signals a significant shift in the global financial ecosystem and suggests that we are indeed entering the activation phase of a broader monetary reform. According to intel from multiple credible sources, this is not a test run or beta operation. These appointments are being logged into the U.S. bank system under the Currency Redemption Division, and tellers, wealth managers, and private banking officials have received training and written procedures on how to handle these transactions under non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, and asset protection clauses. Now, let's break down exactly what this means for you, the currency holder, the everyday person who's been holding IQD or VND and waiting patiently. First, it's important to understand what contract rates are. Contract rates are pre-negotiated higher exchange rates that have been established between certain banks and sovereign entities, in this case, likely U.S. Treasury authorized tiers. These rates are significantly higher than the current international market rates and are generally only available to those who meet specific qualifications or who redeem during controlled redemption periods. Based on reports, the U.S. bank contract rate for IQD is said to be over $4 per dinar, and the rate for VND is rumored to be over 47 cents per dong, though these rates can vary depending on asset declarations, humanitarian project disclosures, and other factors. This is a structured process. You can't just walk in with your dinar or dong and demand a high rate. There is an appointment system in place, and this is where things get particularly interesting. The bank is now allowing individuals to book appointments through their wealth management division or by using a special number that routes directly to the foreign currency exchange desk. If you're a currency holder, the first thing you need to do is ensure that your currency is authentic, uncirculated, and traceable to a verifiable purchase. This means no gray market dinar bought through Craigslist or non-registered sellers. Authenticity is critical, especially under the contract rate process. Next, you need to understand the KYC and AML protocols that banks are now strictly enforcing. This means know your customer and anti-money laundering regulations. Be prepared to show ID, proof of purchase, and in many cases, a clear explanation of how you came to hold large quantities of foreign currency. The days of anonymous exchanges are over. U.S. Bank has implemented a very tight security protocol around this process. Each appointment includes biometric verification, documentation reviews, and a private consultation with a wealth manager or senior banking officer. It's not your average bank visit. It's more like entering a high-security financial transition zone. We are also hearing that NDAs are a mandatory part of this process, especially when engaging in the contract rate redemption. This means once you've been processed, signed the paperwork, and received your funds, you will likely be legally barred from discussing any aspect of the exchange. That includes the rate you received, the experience at the bank, and even confirmation that you participated. Violating that NDA can result in clawbacks, legal action, or asset freezes. This level of security and confidentiality is a clear indicator that this isn't just a local operation, it's part of a much bigger global reset framework. That it's also crucial to understand the tiers of exchange. Right now, U.S. Bank is reportedly focusing on Tier 4B, which includes internet-connected individuals and private holders of foreign currency, who are not part of the sovereign or institutional tiers. This tier was always expected to be the final public tier before a broader international rate goes live. According to various intel providers and financial experts, Tier 4B was always going to be the largest group and therefore the most complicated to process. The fact that U.S. Bank is engaging with this group now indicates we are at the final stages of the process. Let's talk a little about logistics. If you're one of those fortunate enough to receive an appointment, be aware that you may need to travel Not every U.S. bank branch will be processing redemptions. Only certain Tier 1 and Tier 2 branches with specially trained staff are authorized to process the exchanges. These locations have been equipped with the necessary devices to authenticate currency, process biometric verification, and generate legally binding contracts. If you live in a rural area, you may be required to travel to a major metropolitan hub, where one of these redemption centers is located. Many viewers have asked what they should bring to their appointment. In addition to your currency, make sure to bring multiple forms of ID: driver's license, passport, or other government-issued identification. You should also bring any receipts or documentation showing your purchase history. It is also recommended to prepare a personal finance plan, especially if you're exchanging a large amount. Some sources suggest that individuals with redemption values exceeding $10 million may be required to disclose their asset protection strategies, estate plans, or even basic humanitarian project intentions. And yes, humanitarian projects are being taken into account during these appointments. While not mandatory for all appointments, individuals who present a clear, well-drafted humanitarian project plan may be eligible for the higher end of the contract rate spectrum. These projects don't have to be global in scale. They can be local initiatives like building schools, funding hospitals, or supporting food security in underserved communities. What matters is that the bank sees a sincere, structured intent to use the funds responsibly. Some redemption officers are even trained to evaluate the feasibility of these projects on site and make notes that may influence your final rate offer. Let's not forget the taxation question, a big concern for many. While I'm not a tax advisor, and you should definitely consult a licensed CPA or tax attorney, current speculation within the financial community is that these exchanges, when conducted under a structured redemption appointment, an NDA, may be treated as non-taxable currency revaluations. However, this is not official tax guidance, and every individual's situation is different. The best move is to assemble your financial team, now tax advisor, wealth manager, and asset protection attorney. This is not the time to be casual with your money. A key takeaway from this breaking update is this: things are finally moving. After years of false starts, hopium, and misinformation, we are finally seeing tangible, verifiable actions from major US financial institutions. The activation of appointments, contract rate lock-ins, and full security protocols confirms that we are entering the real redemption window. If US Bank is now active, it is highly likely that other Tier 1 banks, such as Wells Fargo, Chase, and even HSBC, will follow shortly if they haven't already begun silently processing their own appointments behind the scenes. Now, for our international viewers, what does this mean for you? Well, at this moment, the U.S. bank program appears to be U.S. citizen-focused, due to compliance with Treasury directives and domestic banking laws. That said, parallel programs are being whispered about in Canada, Australia, and parts of Europe, especially in coordination with global QFS quantum financial system rollout. If you're holding IQD or VND outside of the United States, your next step should be to contact your local Tier 1 bank's foreign exchange division and inquire discreetly about private redemption appointments or structured exchange programs. Some countries are rumored to be 7 to 10 days behind the U.S. in their processing timeline, so stay alert. Let's now address the doubters and skeptics, because I know you're watching, too. Yes, the Dinar and Dong community has been burned. In the past, we've had gurus make wild predictions, fake memos circulate online, and people taken advantage of by opportunists. But today's development is rooted in confirmed, first-hand information coming from within the banking system. People are being contacted, calls are being returned, appointments are being logged into the system. This isn't hype, this is happening. That said, proceed wisely. Avoid unofficial groups, protect your identity, and never hand your currency over.